and welcome to MeowMix, the Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Jerry.
And it is schedule release day.
Whoop, whoop.
Someone tweeted today that the NFL schedule release would outdraw the NHL playoffs if they were up head-to-head. And that's possible.
It probably would.
It probably would. So we are going to break down the Panthers schedule week by week. Let's start with week one, Jerry. You want to start with week one?
Well, I'm going to quickly hit the preseasons. Preseason one is
nobody cares about the preseason.
Well, preseason one's against the Colts. Preseason two is against the Baltimore Ravens. And preseason three, Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course. Every season.
Kind of weird. They don't have a date for the first preseason games. This date to be determined. And then for the second preseason game, it's either August 20th, 21st, or 22nd.
Yeah.
So they're still working out some of the scheduling for the preseason games. But week one, September 12th, we know that date. The New York Jets coming to Bank of America Stadium. Could it have been any other team?
Yeah, I could see it. I'm surprised they didn't put this one a few weeks later and try to make it kind of a meaningful game on maybe not prime time, but maybe one of those top tier games to watch. Because the week one, everybody's going to be paying attention to the Super Bowl champs and everything else going on.
Well, I think that game is on a Thursday, right? That Cowboys Bucks game. So but it is just a 1:00 game. But yeah, a good time for the Panthers probably would be catching the Jets before Zach Wilson can get any sort of rhythm going.
If you think he's going to catch rhythm.
Yeah, I mean, if he is, it's going to be later in the season, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect him to come out and although Cam looked really good his first game.
I was going to say, Cam threw for 400 yards in his first game.
A little bit of a different type of player, I think.
Yeah.
And a different team. There's no Steve Smith on the Jets.
I think this game will be very interesting. We'll get to see what Sam Darnold does with, this weapons. And then, like you said, you'll get to kind of see Zach Wilson and the new Jets, how they kind of look.
I guarantee you Sam Darnold will not prepare harder for any game this season than he will for week one.
I hope so.
He is going to. We're going to really see, if he struggles against the Jets, we might have a problem. Because he is going to be, that's the game he wants to win. Like I said, we're just going to kind of give a couple of thoughts here on these games. We're not going to go win-loss on each game, although we will kind of give a general overall impression of, maybe segments or something. So week two.
Week two, September 19th, at home against the New Orleans Saints. I'm kind of interested in watching this game just because I'm interested in what the Saints will be without Drew Brees. They have a pretty good roster.
That was my thought. Who is the quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Jameis Winston or the other guy?
Taysom Hill. I'm almost certain it's Jameis Winston, but
have they? I guess they haven't released any depth charts or anything yet, but that's kind of the interesting thing for me, because if it's Winston, then they're going to probably score points. How good is that defense going to be? But again, probably a good week to catch the Saints, catch them early before they develop any sort of rhythm with that quarterback. Although you could say the same thing about the Panthers, with a brand new quarterback too. So, week three is our only primetime game.
Yep.
Panthers are going to be visiting the Texans. And that's kind of my initial thought here is this is the first road game for the Panthers, the only primetime game for the Panthers.
And it's Thursday, so it's on a short week.
Right, short week.
Away.
Yep. So that's kind of the test, right? That's the first real test probably for the Panthers here.
I mean, I don't know. I think the Texans are going to be the worst team in the league, and I don't even know.
I agree.
And Deshaun Watson will even play that game because he'll probably most likely be suspended.
Yeah, this could be Tyrod Taylor or I don't know. Did they draft a quarterback? I'm not even sure. But yeah, probably will not be Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
But so just kind of looking at the first 3 weeks here real quick. Those are 3 winnable games, all 3 of them.
Yeah.
A good start to the season for the Panthers. Week 4.
Going away again to the Dallas Cowboys. I'll be interested to see if Mike McCarthy can right that ship. They have talent, and I really like their draft too.
Agreed. Yeah, they. This is the first test against what's probably going to be a top 10 quarterback in Dak Prescott. A high-powered offense, so we're going to get a real test for the secondary. But yeah, I'm interested to see what the Cowboys are this year with Dak coming back. And Ezekiel Elliott, is he going to kind of return to his, top 3 running back form? It'll be interesting to watch this game. It's interesting to watch all of the games. But again, I think this is another winnable game for the Panthers. The first part of this season is setting up nicely.
Yeah. And then on week 5, the Philadelphia Eagles travel to Carolina to face here. I'm interested in see what Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith can do, but I'm not overly impressed with Philadelphia. Not scared of them.
No, again, another winnable game. So my note here is that probably by now, by week 5, we probably have a pretty good feel for what this team is.
At least
the Panthers are.
At least we'll know whether it's back to the drawing board or hey, we might have something to get to the playoffs here.
Yeah, honestly, if Sam Darnold is as good as Teddy and then better at those, red zone 2-minute drive situations, then the schedule sets up nicely for the Panthers to, be 3 or 4 wins in these first 5 weeks.
Yeah, hopefully they'll get off to the correct foot and,
Well, they're going to have to because things get harder from here. Week 6, Vikings at the Panthers. Another good test for the defense. This is probably the next best offense the Panthers will face outside of the Cowboys in the first 6 weeks. So I'm curious to see, after that Cowboys game, what they learned as far as the secondary goes. Is J.C. Horn getting better as the season goes on? I don't expect him to come out playing like a Pro Bowler week 1.
Yeah, and he'll have Justin Jefferson or Adam Thielen. That's going to be a tough matchup for him.
Yeah, these are definitely the best 2. You got Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, I guess, with the Cowboys, but I would put Thielen and Jefferson above them.
I would too. So, they're lighting it up with Kirk Cousins back there. So
right. Now this is 6 weeks, 4 home games in the first 6 weeks.
And we have more away games than home games this year. So
right. So that's good for the first 6 weeks. Not great for the rest of the schedule. Starting in week 7.
Week 7, we go to New York, face the Giants. Danny Dimes.
Maybe. If he's still the guy there.
Who's their backup?
I have no idea.
Exactly.
But, if Daniel Jones doesn't come out looking good the first few weeks, I could easily see them, making a move for a guy or benching him for, a few games. The most popular guy in the team is the backup quarterback. So
when your team struggles, absolutely.
Yeah. This is going to be the battle of running backs who were injured for most of or all of the season last year. So Saquon versus CMC, arguably the top 2 talent running backs in the league. So that'll be interesting. And then James Bradbury. This is the first time the Panthers will face James Bradbury. So just kind of interested to see how they, who he plays and if they can take advantage of that.
Yeah, I feel like New York's on that teeter of they are either going to be bad or they're going to start finally getting it together to start trying to make a playoff push. So it'll be interesting which way they teeter.
Yeah. Week 8, Panthers at Falcons. So this is the first division road game, and just kind of curious to see if the team will kind of step up. First time we're playing the Panthers, first time we're playing the Falcons this season. Week 8, only the second division game. So Um, Matt Ryan, does he still look like he's got it? There's been a lot of question about that in the offseason.
Yeah, this is another team. I'm not sure what I'm going to see out of the Falcons this year. Same with the Saints. It's just this division is in flux, and it'll be interesting which team will rise up to compete or be around where the Bucks are.
That's the
the
thing
number
is,
2 team.
just like you said, this division is, the Panthers are on the up.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucks are probably still have a couple of seasons at the top tier
Until Brady hits that wall.
Yeah, and then the Falcons and Saints are sort of on the way down.
Yeah,
they're on the way down. So, curious to see how the Panthers match up against the Falcons. Very curious for the next game, Week 9.
Week 9, Cam Newton and the New England Patriots travel to Carolina.
Yeah,
if Cam Newton is even starting.
If Cam is starting in this game, it is going to be wild.
It is going to
be a madhouse.
That game is going to be probably the 1:00 game for everybody nationwide.
I can't believe that this game is not at least a 4:00 game, and maybe it'll be flexed.
Mm-hmm.
If they can they flex Week 9 games? I don't even know.
The problem is if it's Mac Jones versus Sam Darnold, it's not going to have that luster. It's just not.
But Cam coming back to Carolina,
starting.
I think Cam's going to he'll start the season as the starter, I think, as long as he's healthy. They're going to give him every opportunity.
He hasn't been healthy in 3-4 years.
But
love you, Cam. Not hating, just saying.
This is obviously assuming Cam is the starter, this is the game of the year for me. This is the one that I'm most excited about.
Oh, yeah. If he starts.
If he starts, right. So Week 10, by the way, that's Week 10. Panthers at Cardinals. So this, I think, is the furthest the Panthers will travel this year, out to Phoenix. Cardinals, another team that's, I think they're on their way up. They tried to improve their defense this year. They added J.J. Watt. Of course, the poor man's Jeremy Chin also on this team, Isaiah Simmons. And then A.J. Green, they added in as a wide receiver. So they've got DeAndre Hopkins. Kyler Murray's a good quarterback. It's going to be a good yardstick game for the Panthers.
It will be. Just like last year and the year before. The Cardinals seem to always play the Panthers, and the Panthers eke out a win the past few years.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested if that continues, especially because their head coach will probably start being on a hot seat if they don't make the playoffs.
This was a head coach that a lot of people raised their eyebrows at when he was hired.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be interesting. Week 11, Ron Rivera's first game back at Bank of America Stadium. The Washington football team comes to Carolina.
That'll be a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
I think Ron will get a cheer in the stadium, and then boom.
Everybody loves Ron. Everybody loves Ron.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Ron. Yeah. And of course, with his cancer and everything, everyone's pulling for him as a person, not necessarily as a head coach. So, but this is 2 weeks in a row where you've got Cam coming back, and then you've got Rivera coming back the next home game. So two home
games. Okay, right, I was going to say the Cardinals are in between them, but
2 home games.
And Washington's a solid team, and you got to think Curtis Samuel's coming back too. So
right, that's Curtis Samuel game. Yep.
And Ryan Fitzpatrick, it depends if he's going to have that good game or bad game against the Panthers.
If he's the quarterback by then, I mean, a lot of questions of quarterbacks, who the quarterback is going to be in the first part of this.
Is Taylor Heineke going to really take it over?
Yeah. Ron Rivera loves Taylor Heineke. Kyle Allen also will probably be healthy. So finally, the last game before the bye, another late bye this year, Panthers at Dolphins. Another team that's going to be interesting to watch, the Dolphins, is Tua the real deal? I think we'll know by this point in the season next year, or this season, I guess.
Yeah. There's a lot of teams on this schedule that they could either be like 4 wins, or they could be a playoff team. There's
Yeah.
so many teams like that I see on this schedule, and the Dolphins are one of them.
And this is 12 games in a row now without a bye. So the Panthers are going to be tired. They're going to be worn down, mentally exhausted. It's going to be interesting to see if they can kind of rise up one last time before the bye, try to get a win from what's probably going to be a pretty tough Dolphins team, very well coached Dolphins team. And I did see, by the way, that based on win projections from Vegas, that the Panthers have the 7th easiest schedule in the league. If you look at that, so
I can believe that.
Yeah.
Now, week 13 again is the bye, and I think this, if you're trying to make a playoff push, if you're in that hunt, I think this is a great time to get a bye, because then that way you can get some guys healthy, get some nicks and bruises healed up, and then head home and face the Atlanta Falcons again.
Yeah.
14.
And by the way, second year in a row we got a week 13 bye. So yeah, my note here is, this is the first game after the bye. This is the second time facing the Falcons. A good time to face a team the second time when you've had 2 weeks to prepare.
Yeah.
So I want to see sort of how they come out of the bye, if they're strong and focused, and what the game plan is. The Falcons have their bye in week 6, so they've got a long second half of their schedule. Yeah. But after the Falcons, still on the road, or going back on the road, I should say, week 15, Buffalo Bills.
And this game they have no clue about. No time, no date. It's just week 15.
It's it's just like the Green Bay game was last year. It could either be Saturday or Sunday. So remember last year they made us the Saturday game. So this could be another Saturday game. But yeah, F.A. Obata, revenge game, could be.
The Bills are going to be one of the top 4 or 5 teams in the league. This game might be very rough for the Panthers, especially depending on how the season is going.
Right. I've got Josh Allen MVP watch on my list here, because I think he's set up to have an extremely good season, just like he had last year. Had a great season last year. So,
and
week
then
16.
The first time the Panthers faced the Super Bowl champions, week 16, Tampa Bay Buccaneers come to Carolina. I'm not a fan of facing them that late twice, because this is the first time.
Yeah, this is the first time we faced Tampa Bay. To me, I'm okay with it, honestly. If you've got the Super Bowl champs in your division and you can wait almost the entire season to play them, then I'm all right with that, honestly. They're going to be beat up. Tom could be sort of tired and limping to the finish. It's a long season, longest season in the history of the NFL. I'm not sure when the Bucs have their bye, but yeah, it's going to be, are the Bucs going to repeat? I mean, if so, then by week 16, they could be well on their. We'll see.
Yeah, Tom Brady can't play at the same level forever, so hopefully.
40 touchdowns last year at age 42.
Yeah.
Crazy. Panthers at Saints, week 17. So finally, the Panthers, for the first time in 4 years, do not play the Saints the last game of the season. So
it's only because we got that one extra week that we have to. Right. Otherwise,
that's right.
So fun fact. Yeah. It'll be 5 years in a row that the Panthers play the Saints on week 17.
That's true. Yeah, there you go. So who is the QB going to be for New Orleans? I mean, this is a very similar question to the first one, but by week 17, it could be a different guy. We might be facing our second Saints quarterback of the year.
And who knows? This could be for a playoff, wild card hunt, or or even the division. If Tom gets hurt, or he struggles, he finally hits that wall.
Could be, yeah. Or it could be another. The Panthers are looking at a top 5 draft pick, and the Saints blow the game.
Yeah.
Who knows? We're hoping that's not the case.
Instead of drafting 3, draft 8.
Yeah, there you go. Wonder where I've seen that before. Week 18, final week of the season. Panthers at Bucks. So the Panthers finished the season with 2 road division games. Now the Bucks could be at this point, if they're as good as they were last year, could be resting players. This could be a game against a lot of second stringers. So I think is also going to depend on how the Panthers are doing. If the Panthers are,
they would have to have the number 1 overall seed because
or they could have their, if they can only be the second seed or something. Like there's different possibilities here, different scenarios. But given that this is an 18-week season, if they've got us, something locked in, I could easily see them resting Tom. Easily see them resting Tom.
Yeah, I can too.
Yeah. And, Mike Evans and Godwin and everybody. So could be a good time to hit the Bucks that last game. Last 5 games, 4 division games, and then the Bills. That's tough.
That's tough. That's a very tough ending.
That's tough.
After your bye week, again, we don't know what the Falcons and Saints are going to hold, but they are division rivals. So
division games are always tough. Yeah. And 4 of those last 6 are on the road. So another, schedule makers gave the Panthers a break early in the season, but coming down that home stretch, going to be some tough games.
Yeah, the Panthers will need to start off strong.
Yeah.
To sniff the playoffs.
And they've got the opportunity. I mean, if you're looking at those first, 6 games, the Jets, a questionable Saints team, a very questionable Texans team, Cowboys, Eagles, those 2 teams from the worst division last year, and the Vikings, who are usually good on offense at least, but the Panthers play them tough. And then you got the Giants. So those first 7 weeks, really, they're all winnable games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very winnable games. So could the Panthers start 5-2 in those first 7 games? I mean, to me, that would be.
And at 5-2, hypothetically, if you went 5-2, hypothetically, if you may start getting that momentum in that locker room, you might go face a team that's on paper a lot better, but you're clicking and maybe they're not. So,
yeah. I mean, and then you've got the Falcons after that, which who knows? Then the Patriots, who last year weren't that good. So, I mean, the schedule, the first half of the season looks good. Second half is tough, but again, if you've got that momentum going, you get the late bye. I don't hate the schedule. I really don't. The only thing I hate is the lack of primetime games.
Oh, yeah.
Which I guess we all expected, right?
Yeah. The team is, right now it doesn't have any flashy quarterback. It coming off a losing season. So
yeah, we didn't, I bet if you drafted Justin Fields, that you would have had at least one more primetime game, maybe 2. So just kind of looking overall at the schedule, no big road trip. They play back-to-back road games 3 times, but that's it. They don't have any 3-game road trips. No long trips out west like we've seen in the past. So really does set up nicely. Like this is a team-friendly schedule.
And if you're playing on Thursday night away, it's nice to have it against Houston and being home right before that. I'm just saying, honestly.
No, you're right. I mean, honestly, it kind of sets up perfectly.
We want to thank everyone for listening. If you like the show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMix Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. And if you leave us a 5-star review with a comment on Apple Podcast, we'll read it on our show.
We'll be back next week talking about something. We'll probably go in, maybe do a deep dive on the roster, talk about some of the undrafted free agents that have come in, and just kind of look at the Panthers overall before the season, before training camp, all this stuff comes on. So until then, everybody, take it easy out there, stay safe, and keep pounding.